So the other day, someone asked me to define what worship is. And so what immediately came to mind was a quote from A.W. Tozer, which I borrowed, loosely paraphrased it. And I said that I believed worship was our humble, constant, and joyful response to God's self-revelation. And I need gas in a hurry. I always do that. I wait until I am coasting on fumes. All right, so back to worship. So let me unpack that response. But before I do, let me talk about my job. So my title is I am the worship pastor at our church. But that title is kind of a misnomer. I mean, at least a little bit, because what it really is referring to is music. Because in our church, we sing songs on Sundays, and we don't just sing them for the benefit of ourselves. We don't sing them for those people that are around us. No, we sing them directly to God. And we call that worship. Singing and music is worship, but worship is not only singing and music, but singing and music are a huge part of my job as worship pastor. And that definition that I gave, that I kind of stole from A.W. Tozer, our humble, constant, and joyful response to God's self-revelation. So music is humble. When we sing, a lot of times we will lift our hands, and that's this sign of praise to the one who is greater than us, who's bigger than us. That is God, that's Jesus. And so that we sing in humility. We don't sing and boast of who we are, but we sing and boast of who He is. So that is humble, joyful. So when we sing, singing is often an expression of joy, and absolutely in worship, it is an expression of joy. So it's checked both those boxes, but constant, not so much. And what I mean is, like on a Sunday, we sing 20 minutes and then we're done singing. And you know, I got to thinking about that. Singing worship, which is super powerful and is something I'm passionate about, it's not something that's constant, but we are always supposed to be worshiping the Lord. I'm going to read from Romans chapter 12, verse 1. It says this, "Therefore I urge you," and by the way, this is the Apostle Paul writing, and he says, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." So, if we are to worship constantly, and Paul says to offer your bodies, when I think about that, what's that mean, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice? I would think that means that anything that my body does, anything that I do with my hands, do with my mouth, my voice, do with my brain, my thoughts, everything should be done as a response to God revealing Himself to us in the form of Jesus giving Himself as a sacrifice for our sins so that we could know Him. So how we live, every single thing in every single way, should be worship to God. Now that is not something that's easy to accept. I've been thinking about this for a little while, to be honest with you, and I've been getting this feeling that a lot of Christians, a lot of us, tend to hedge our bets with our faith. To understand where I'm coming from, you got to know this about my personality. I'm kind of an all-in kind of person. Like I take things usually to the extreme, not like in an unhealthy way or anything. Like if I'm interested in something, I'm going to be all in on that thing. So like one-wheeling. So my wife got me a one wheel, super excited about it, super interested in it. So I started buying all of the extras, all of the accessories. I like went all in. I joined all of the One Wheel groups. I got a One Wheel t-shirt. I'm all in on it, you know. I'm an all-in kind of personality. It hit me though that I don't know, I'm just being completely real and open with you, okay? I don't know if I've been completely all in. And what I mean by that is, if I believe this, right, and I do, it should consume me, and it should consume my thoughts. I should be consumed with worshiping my Creator and telling everybody about Him. If I'm gonna offer my body as a living sacrifice, like really straight up, okay God, this is my worship to you. Everything you've done for me, I'm gonna give you my whole self. Then everything I do should be to that end, and should be to glorifying Him, to worshiping Him, which is to be joyful about Him always, and to always be everything that I do be for God. And man, that's something that's so easy to say, and it's so hard to do, but I'm gonna try. You know, I guess my last thought to you is, if you believe, how do you feel about that? That everything we do be for God. I can't get my mind away from this idea that everything that we do as Christians, everything we do in our life should go to give God praise. That is worship. And don't get me wrong, I love singing on Sundays. Like, I absolutely love it. And I love leading people in song and helping people to grab onto those words that we're singing and to make it true in our hearts, and say, this is who God is, and this is who we're going to declare God to be, because it's the truth. And I love those moments of singing worship on Sundays. But that can't be all that there is. That can't be it. When we worship God, we're not just singing songs to Him, but we're living our lives for Him. So what do you do that doesn't give God worship? I don't know. I'm thinking about this. I'm wrestling with this myself, thinking about just taking a look at my life and saying, okay, what things do I need to get rid of? And you know, this thing can start with a simple prayer. It can say, God, reveal to me in my own heart, what are the things that are keeping me apart from you? What are the things that are in between me and you? God, reveal that to my heart. Help me to see those things, and help me to remember that greater is He who is in me than he who is in the world. His strength will be made perfect in my weakness, so that I can do those things. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead is alive and inside every single one who believes. That's the truth. So maybe it starts with a prayer. No, I think it does. I think it does start with a prayer, and then it's accompanied by action. So, and I say this to anyone that might be watching that would call themselves a Christian. Is there something, or a few things, or maybe many things, that's keeping you from worshiping God with your entire life? Maybe look at it this way. Maybe you worship God with part of your life, or a lot of your life, or most of your life. What's keeping you from worshiping Him with all of your life? And that's not just a question I'm asking you. That's a question I'm asking myself. A humble, constant, joyful response to God's self-revelation. That is what worship is. All right, hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.